Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's daily message. So, right off the bat, I am being told that today's daily message is going to be a YouTube video because it's going to be quite long. It's just some of you need to hear some advice. So, channeling for the collective of the highest good spirit. Channeling for the collective's highest good. Channeling. See here. It's time to set some boundaries with some spirits, which is y'all don't see that. But I was like, like getting my lighter out, and then as soon as I said placing boundaries, the flame went out, and I was like, okay, listen here, bucko. But for real, I am going to burn this Palo Santo to place a protection spell, or prayer. I feel like spells are about intention and the words you use. So for the highest good of the collective, for the highest good of me as well, whatever messages I channel, I'm going to be channeling them for the highest good. I'm trying to think of like how to phrase that. In contact with spirit. Like I don't have a specific spirit in mind that I'm channeling from. So I'm gonna call on God. So what's the message, spirit? Okay. So the message starts off with the 5 of Wands. Okay. So for many of us, this is in regards to a situation. I'm getting a bit of drama where you may have been arguing with some people, or some people may have been arguing with you over something. Okay, and you have been dodging and weaving some BS. Okay, so, like I feel like you resonate with this energy. Honestly, you're just here because you have to be, but everyone else seems more interested in the drama than you are. Okay, I'm getting drama, but may not necessarily be. Okay, and here's the other thing too. You're this Empress energy. You're this benevolent angel, a saint. Okay, you're coming into this space and you're shining your light. And honestly, there may be some people. I'm getting workplace situation. Workplace situation is coming through, is channeling through. But for some of you, this could also be in regards to like some kind of love triangle. Okay, some of you guys out there got it going on so well. You have multiple people who are interested in you right now, and they're all like either behind your back, in front of your face, arguing, bickering with each other. You may honestly hold up, if you're part of a friend group where people who are not typically argumentative, or even if they are argumentative, are arguing around each other all the time whenever you show up. Like maybe the relationships are like chill, but then they like put on a performance for you specifically. They literally put on a show. Like spirit is telling me that like sometimes some people, this is how they like try to like garner attention, by being loud, by being problematic. It's like, it's sort of like some kind of, like in their heads they think they're showing off, and because they're making themselves the center of attention, even though they're not getting good attention, they know they're being looked at when they do this. So they feel like you could potentially develop feelings for them as long as like they're in your eyesight. Does that make sense? But what they don't know is they don't know how to approach you correctly. They don't know how you receive love, and it's at a frequency of peace in love, okay? Like, you're just like vibing. You're being this empathetic queen. So sweet. They like you. They know who you are. They know who the fuck you are. They know that you don't give in to these toxic shits. Okay, you don't give in to the bickering. You don't give into it. But like, excuse me. These people are trying it. Also, at this point, so at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, the rest of this video is going to be up on YouTube. Check the comment section, because that's where I'm going to post the link of the video. Or if you want, you can also go to my page, and there should be a link to my YouTube channel. You can just watch the rest of this video there. Yeah, but if you decide not to watch the rest, then thank you so much for coming this far. Peace. Anyway, but for those of you who are still here, who watch this is the extended, which is on YouTube. I have more to say. Anyway, I'm just getting the sense there are some potentially messy people. Yeah, okay, so I'm starting to get some characters here. But first of all, we have the Four of Swords. This is draining to you. Their act, this like constant bickering, because again, to these people, they think like this is the way to get you, or they've just been in environments where like acting like this was the way to act. That makes sense. But you've been in places where everything's tranquil, everything's peaceful, and you enjoy those spaces. But these are not people who enjoy those things because they don't see the merit and value in them quite yet. Okay, and then we have the Star card in reverse. I feel like this could be triggering for you. I think for a lot of us, because I relate to the scenario being presented as well, but to the collective's highest good, I really get the sense that there may be some people who are just straight up thinking about you. Yeah, there are some people, ex-friends from friend groups, if you've, snip some people out. This may be very, yeah, I feel like for a lot of us, we're on a journey of ascension. So there were friend groups where we were doing lower vibrational shit, toxic shit, and we were vibing with them because that was our frequency at the time. But now we are elevating, outgrowing them, and realizing how draining it is to be in this lower vibrational negative energy. And with the Star card in reverse, these people bring about a period of pain, or when they're in their toxic shit, peak toxic shit, it makes you feel like you're regressing if you're in their presence. So I think for a lot of us, we've made the decision to walk away, but some may still be hanging on to these energies. And I just want to say, for those of us who relate with the message of hanging on to the energy, the Queen of Pentacles showed up. Now, this card typically is a good omen. I would typically, especially if this represented someone's energy, the energy of like a very caring and giving person. That's the Queen of Wands. But look closer. Do you see the snake? Do you see the snake that's like wrapped around her? May potentially eat her. Like, I don't know the story behind this card. This snake could actually be helpful. I don't know. But I'm getting the sense that this is untrustworthy. You are hanging around people who have the intentions to hurt you. Okay, like you're hanging around folks who have the intention to hurt you, and this may be a warning for some of you. For those of you who you have new friends, or friends like you might have known them for a while. It doesn't matter if they're new or old. Some of you, honestly, I get it could be both, but they make you feel drained. I don't care what they're talking about. But after the conversations, every single time I hang out with them, you always feel drained. You're in a bad mood. As this Empress, we are highly empathic. Okay, we pick up energy very easily. So it's important what we surround ourselves with. Especially if you hang around the type of people who kind of always talk about, oh, pity me this. You know what I mean? Those type of people, like an example's coming to my head. Like, let's say you have friends with certain kinds of like ailments. Okay, maybe some are like life-threatening, some are not. In fact, I don't even think life-threatening can. Anyway, I'm just getting the sense like you hang around people who experience potentially minor inconveniences, but exaggerate it to the point where they're like, they just, it's very draining. Essentially, it's like they're very draining energies. I feel like for some of these people, they don't even know how to appreciate what they do have. Like, they have a lot of blessings, they just are oblivious to them. Like if you live in a first world country, you really don't know how good you have it. Like, this is just true. You may be experiencing like a family background issues. You may even have ailment issues, but at the end of the day, you have access to running water. Most likely, unless you don't, then maybe this doesn't like apply to you. But if you can watch a message off of your smartphone and you have electricity, you have access to food consistently, like more than like once a day, and running water, you have no idea how good you have it in comparison to other people. Like, and it's true. And I'm not saying this to mitigate the pain or the internal suffrage you may have experienced, because those are valid as fuck. I'm just saying, put it into perspective, because there are people out there who are experiencing the same internal conflicts as you, but do not have access to all the resources that you have. Not to mention, like, if you're on this side of TikTok, also I just saw the numbers, 1144. Then you're on the spiritual side. So you're about to be accessing some spiritual gifts, which you can access intuitively without the source of a guide, you know what I mean? Without people like me, tarot readers and stuff. I'm like pretty sure that's how our ancestors spiritually sent. They didn't have anyone to show them the way. They just listened to themselves and then understood how the divine worked. But anyway, I say this to say it's valid for feeling drained by those people, by those energies. You don't need to justify hanging around them. I also saw 1222. But you don't have to like stick around to those energies when it's doing nothing but harming you. And spirit wants to let you know, like, you're not obligated to be people's friends if you don't want to be. And I'm getting the sense that you are just done with it. You're really done with it. You're done with the draining energy, because this is not fun to be in. Like, look at it. Look at this dog wolf thing. Look how beaten up he looks. Okay, tied up too, with a sword coming through his mouth. I bet he feels exhausted. I bet he feels drained. Maybe on the verge of death. Okay, and you don't have to entertain these connections. And also honor the fact that you're sensitive. For a lot of us, I get the sense that we want to toughen up. We want to just, it's fine. You know what I mean? Or just try to move past it. And that level of grace is very kind. And it's not a bad thing to be forgiving either. But Spirit wants you to know that, like, you aren't obligated to think like that with all individuals. You're not obligated to be friends with someone that you don't want to be friends with. Okay? But you should know you are a hot commodity. There are a lot of people who are interested in you. But these are also triggering connections. So make sure you spend time healing. So Spirit, what final messages do you have from this deck, this Oracle deck, for the collective? Alright. So we'll start off with the air card. So for a lot of us, this kind of comes down to speaking our truth. I get the sense that that's our main struggle here, is learning. So with the air card, it asks us to channel authenticity and asks us to channel truth, right? Air energy to me is truth-speaking energy. That's what I love about the Ace of Swords. It's honest, precise, it's clear, it is direct, and I mean, it could come off as harsh, but sometimes we quite literally need it. Air energy is also a very sobering energy. Most of the air signs I know don't really like to get like messed up. You know, like they don't really like to drink too much or smoke too much or whatever too much. I mean, not saying that's true for every air sign. I'm just saying that from my experiences, air energy has been very sobering energy. Um, and right now, you're being asked to channel it with speaking your truth. And placing boundaries, okay? And don't, I mean, at the very least, understand you are worthy of having your boundaries respected. It doesn't matter if other people don't think you have a good enough reason, or if you think that you need to have a good enough reason to distance yourself from energies that feel toxic and draining to you. But you need to understand that, like, if you don't protect your vessel, who will? You can't expect someone else to make the decisions that are necessary for you. That's your responsibility. This is your body. This is your spiritual being. This is your energetic essence. Your emotional well-being that you got to take care of. No one else is going to take care of it for you. It's your responsibility. And if you know something is causing you turmoil internally and it's hurting you, then a word of advice from a girly who went through a previous situation. Okay, I also used to have a friend group where I was around a lot of people who were vibrating at a lower frequency. Okay, no tea, no shade. The things that they cared about and worried about, I did not care about or worry about. But when I first met them, I did. Obviously, we were like at the same frequency. But then as I continued to elevate, they just were at their same energy. So I was changing. And all of a sudden, it was like, we couldn't reach each other anymore. And it became like the only way they could get a hold of me was through toxic shit, right? Like they doubled down on their toxicity to bring me to their level. They don't like realize it, that's what they're doing, but this is what they're doing, like intuitively. And I had made the decision to stay where I'm meant to be, to go where spirit is calling me to go. I'm spiritually sending. Okay, so I'm not gonna just revert back to be friends with some people. The spiritual path often means you walk it alone, and it's a solo journey. It's not really meant to be taken with someone else. Not always, though. Sometimes there's some souls that are willing to do the work necessary. I mean, if you decide to walk this path with another person, if you decide to live your life with another person, that's twice the amount of work, but twice the amount of joy you get out of it. But it's just a lot of work, and people don't really like to do hard work unless they know for sure it's gonna pay off. And that's the thing about dating, you never really know. You can only put your best intentions out there and open your heart and hope it gets reciprocated. But people who are not willing to do that work, they make it pretty obvious. They show you like the little signs, and you don't get to waste your time on them, so that's the good news, I guess. The second message is magic. Okay, so for this collective, I would say we're witches. There's a bit of magic. I mean, okay, maybe not everybody identifies as a witch that's watching this, but I feel like you are intrigued by the mystics of this world. And once you found out about manifesting and things like that, and learning how to utilize them, you probably find it at times hard to believe. But I just want to let you know something about like how energy works. Being a martyr, which is, I feel like you in this connection or in these connections where you're putting up with low vibrational shit and it's not actually benefiting you, it's not helping you spiritually ascend or keeping your peace of mind. It's doing the opposite. But you keep these energies around because it's almost as if you don't want to be that bad guy by choosing to walk away. And by the way, I made that decision. That's why I was speaking earlier. I was like, I've made the hard decision to walk away from these friend groups because straight up, I felt like my life was in danger. Like, things were getting chaotic the longer I stayed. It was obvious these people did not know how to self-reflect, or how to take care of their vessels, or make smart decisions. And here I am making smart decisions and trying my best to take care of my vessel, and I was triggering them. I was making them so mad. And there were just other reasons too, but at the end of the day, it was like, it was up to me. Do I want to keep these energies in my life? And if I keep them in my life, what is the message I'm sending to the universe? That I'll put up with crap. So the universe will send me crap until I'm done putting up with it. And that's just how it works. And I wanted to let you know too, sometimes, okay, if you've had the issue of you've been trying to manifest things, but they're not really coming to fruition for you the way you wanted them to, okay, but you've been putting in the work, okay, you've been saying the affirmations, and you've been keeping your energy as high as possible, and you've been doing all these other things, and you're wondering, like, why isn't this working? Why am I not getting it? Then I got a message for you. It could be because what you're asking for, like, let's say you want to get like $1,000 because you want to go out on a little shopping trip. So you're trying to manifest $1,000 to go out on your little shopping trip. But here's the thing. If Spirit gave you that money, you're probably going to take these fake ass bitches with you. Like, I'm going to relay the message as real as possible. And Spirit's like, no, those people have not done the necessary work that you put in to get this blessing. You deserve that blessing. You deserve it by now. But these energies are bringing you down. And Spirit is not about to bless them as well when they have not done the work. So in the meanwhile, you're fine. But until you can, it's things like that. Sometimes it's stuff like that that withholds our blessings from us. It's keeping what you no longer need. It's like you want a new couch, but you haven't gotten rid of your current one. So even if you suddenly got a couch, you wouldn't even have space to put it in. You know what I mean? Or like, it's like if you do things from a need base, like, oh, I need friends, so to have friends to go shopping with. Okay, well, you would get friends you can go shopping with. It's just like they'll be better for you, but you gotta first release the ones that are tainting your good vibes, okay? But yeah, there's a message here about, like, sometimes Spirit withholds blessings because you're not meant to receive them yet. You haven't learned the lesson necessary to receive them. Or another really important one is, who will you spend that with? Okay, Spirit knows what's in our heart. Spirit knows our true intentions, and also what we want out of things, out of life. You know what I mean? Like, Spirit knows that you have a kind heart and you're prone to sharing, which is a good thing. But who are you sharing with? Are these people that are rooting for you? Or think about it, if they're talking shit about other people in front of you, what are the chances they're not talking shit about you behind your back? If that's the scenario, if that's the case, and I bet you're so energetically sensitive, you probably feel it too. You probably feel when they talk shit about you behind your back, because you get anxious and you get paranoid all of a sudden, and you're not really sure why, and you're gaslighting yourself and thinking that there's something wrong with you, but actually you're just highly intuitive. You're this Empress. You're so in tune with nature, with yourself, with God, that when they send you these negative energies, you feel it. You feel it intensely. You have a heightened level of awareness of what it is. You may not know where it's coming from or why it's happening, so that's going to be all that, but you will feel it. It will disturb your internal peace because it is an attack. It's a psychic attack. You just don't realize that, okay? And it doesn't matter if you realize it or not. It doesn't matter if we know that, like, there are creatures that exist at the bottom of our ocean floors. It doesn't matter if we never see them, but that doesn't ignore the fact that they still exist. So just because you're not aware it's a certain thing doesn't mean it's not a certain thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like for a lot of us, I feel like the understanding of what a spiritual attack is may not be like fully identify, like we may not really know how to explain it. And I very recently realized what spiritual attacks are and what they mean. But a spiritual attack is like, it's when somebody is sending you negative energy. And I think like not everyone's going to be affected the same. Some people are straight up like, you know, it's some people who aren't sensitive to energy. So when they're being psychically attacked, when people are speaking ill about them behind their back, like they're fine. But when people like us, okay, people who embody this Empress energy, who are sensitive and nurturing, caring and loving, okay, we feel it and we don't know where it's coming from. And that doubt that seeps in, the internal spirals that we go through, okay, all that is the attack. The attack's purpose was to hurt you in some way. And it aligns very well with the plans that darker energies have for you. So, you know, take care of your vessel, everybody. But yeah, there's some good news. Okay, I definitely feel like for a lot of us, we need to go back in nature. But there's some good news coming in. I don't know if I can tell you whatever. For every individual person, I'm not really sure what that specifically is. But for a lot of us, once we do this necessary step, once we cleanse ourselves or, you know, release these attachments with people and places that do not serve us, when we can, that's when you're going to start seeing your blessings coming in. Okay, that's when you're going to start seeing your manifestations, okay, trickling in. And I say the word trickle because for some of you, maybe you'll be ready to receive the full thing, okay? Maybe for some of you, you're gonna like, and then boom, you're gonna receive all this stuff. All this, like, you know, like, suddenly you'll have the money you need to do a mini shopping trip. For some of you, maybe suddenly you're gonna receive the full thing, whatever you were manifesting, okay? Or whatever it is Spirit had like as a blessing for you for your work. But this is anyway, have no doubt, this is a spiritual lesson of learning when to walk away from things. Okay, that's what I'm getting here for a lot of us. Maybe for some of you guys too, it may be learning how to handle yourself in these situations. Okay, but I also, with the Empress energy, I feel like we know how to handle ourselves. We know how to set boundaries. Okay, an Empress doesn't bite off more than she can chew. All right, an Empress knows, excuse me. An Empress is well aware on when she, like, where her limitations are, when she's being overused, when she's being overworked. You know, she knows how to walk away. She knows how to set boundaries, TBH. So I feel like for some of you, it's more about the getting over the emotional part. What is it gonna feel like when you do decide to cut people off? Okay, and it's not gonna feel good at first, especially if these are energies that are hooked onto you. You're gonna feel very drained. You're gonna feel very, at first, you're gonna feel honestly like you will regret it, because even though it was the best decision you could have made for yourself, you're so sensitive to energy, you feel them. You feel them regretting the way they treated you, or being pissed that they no longer have access to you. But think about it. When was the last time you had a friend that told you they didn't want to be your friend anymore? How did you react? Were you reflectant? Did you think about yourself? Did you think about your actions? Or did you send them negative energy? Did you hate on them because they didn't want you no more? Or did you just think like, you know, maybe they had their reasons, maybe something was going on in their life. Honestly, I can't even be mad. Like, I don't own this person. It's like, I'm trying to like highlight the difference. For some of you, you may be dealing with an ex-lover. who was this very hyper masculine energy that was like very toxic, and they were in a third party. Okay, for some of you, and there's a repeat message too of the Magician card. But yeah, for some of you, maybe you'll be dealing with this energy in a healthy way moving forward. That's the good news. For some of you, it could be about money. I don't know, but yes, the message is rather long, but the daily message for you guys today is I feel like it's encouraging you to walk away or to stand up for yourself, to speak your truth, and to use your magic. But there's something too about triggering, healing, feeling drained. This is a situation that I feel like has gotten you on like a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but I want you to understand you're almost at the end of it, and there was a lesson in all of this. There was a spiritual lesson in all of this. And oftentimes, those are the greatest lessons we can learn. Okay, anyway, guys, it's like time for me to go. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Negustita, and I hope this message resonated with you. Bye.